Tom Luganville, and Sam Acho. I'm Zubin Mehenti. After more than $167 million in buyout money has been spent, the million-dollar question now, who coaches LSU? Who gates Lane Kiffin? Or is that answer one and the same? Let's talk about it. You know the deal. On Saturday morning, Brian Kelly woke up. It was his 64th birthday. It's one he's going to remember, but for all the wrong reasons. I'm sure many of you saw this game. A&M reeled off 35 in a row. Hard to remember. LSU actually had the lead at the half of this game, and then the signs were out. Gotta go. G-E-A-U-X. And on Sunday, Brian Kelly was gone. What's notable, I'm sure you know this if you're a hardcore college football fan, LSU's last three coaches prior to Kelly all won the national title. What's most instructive to know is they all did it within their first 4 seasons on the job, and Kelly was now in his 4th season, and obviously things were not trending in that direction. So let's have a discussion about this. It's the biggest story in the sport. Another weekend, another coaching firing. Tom, I want to begin with you. It's super important who LSU obviously hires, but what's really important in your mind is everything that coach is going to inherit.
Absolutely. I think that this is a top 3 job in America, top 5 window, and hit a 4 or 5-star player statewide. So you've got tremendous in-state recruiting base. You also are going to be a hot destination for that select group of players that may choose to leave to go to a Texas or an Alabama or somewhere. And when they get into that portal, they're going to come back to you. You are fully resourced, as we've seen by the ton of money that they are about to throw out there to hire a new staff and remove Brian Kelly and his staff. So I think that this job is an elite level job for so many different reasons. And when people talk about Lane Kiffin, this job is a way better job than the Florida job, in my opinion.
LSU is bigger than a coach. LSU is culture. LSU doesn't need Brian Kelly. Think about it. Think about the current NFL stars that we're seeing. Guys like Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, former NFL stars, Patrick Peterson and Tyrann Mathieu, even WNBA stars and LSU stars, Flau'jae and Angel Reese. There's so much culture that people love the LSU, the brand, the name. They called it DBU for the longest time. And so whether Brian Kelly is there or Brian Kelly isn't, players are going to want to go to a place like LSU. Even in the media, Ryan Clark and Swagoo, they wear their emotion and their LSU on their sleeve. So this is an unbelievable opportunity for anybody who gets this coaching job. It's not like a place like Florida where it could be more of a struggle to try and get things turned around. The talent is there in Florida, but also at LSU. And there's so much of a winning culture, if you will, so much talent that you could pretty much walk in and win.
All right. Bottom line, though, all great points. They do need a coach. That's for sure. I'm not an insider, but I know that much. So, Pete, let's go to you. So I'm thinking James Franklin gets fired on a Sunday. 6 days later, he shows up with you and the game day gang and says immediately, I want a coach, and the race is on. So tell us what the future holds, the immediate future here for Brian Kelly.
Yeah, I've been told by sources that Brian Kelly does want to coach again, whether that's immediately next season or down the line. Brian Kelly's plan is to return coaching in college football. Look, Zubin, LSU is a place that has churned out championships, sometimes despite its head coaches, right? And Brian Kelly won 71% of his games there. The people in charge at LSU did not view that as good enough. They didn't view 71% of the games there as enough to continue going. But Brian Kelly is the winningest active football coach. I guess he's not active anymore, but he wasn't until Saturday, the winningest active football coach in college football right now in terms of total wins. He won at Grand Valley, he won at Cincinnati, he won at Central Michigan, he won big at Notre Dame. There's another act left for Brian Kelly, and I'd expect him to chase that in the near future.
Yeah, he is 276 as an FBS coach. Let that sink in for a second. 200 wins, 76 losses. One more follow to you, Pete. I just thought it was coincidental, maybe ironic, that LSU was playing Texas A&M on Saturday because Scott Woodward, who was once the athletic director at A&M, now LSU, has signed off on, literally and figuratively, the 2 biggest buyouts in all of college football history. Jimbo Fisher followed by Brian Kelly. Who is going to end up making this critical hire for LSU if I'm telling you that's the most recent history with Woodward's coaching hires?
Yeah, Zubin, as of right now, and look, it's Louisiana and Louisiana politics. Everything is very fluid, very volatile. Remember, the governor wanted a live tiger on the sidelines and had a large public push for that last year when we were down there for College game day. So certainly nothing is certain or stable. But as of right now, Scott Woodward's name is on the press release, and he is pushing forward to make this hire. Scott Woodward's playbook is a simple one. He is a big game hunter. No pun intended with Mike the Tiger there. Scott Woodward hired Chris Peterson from Boise to Washington. He hired Jimbo Fisher initially at Texas A&M. I believe Ross Bjork signed off on the extension there that led to the bigger buyout. And then obviously he hired Buzz Williams at Texas A&M, left a couple days later, and then hired Brian Kelly at LSU. He is not going to look for the special teams coach from McNeese for this job, Zubin. If you look at his history, that is how he is going to fulfill it. And as of right now, he is the one leading the search. There is no president at LSU, so there's a power vacuum there. And not surprisingly, with the volatile nature of Louisiana politics, people are trying to fill that power vacuum.
No doubt. Governor Landry heavily involved, in the LSU president just became the Rutgers president, so there is a leadership vacuum in place. So the next question really comes down to, it's the sea change of everybody looking for a coach. The Power 4 head coaching openings. There are some bold-faced schools here looking for a head coach that will likely be chasing Lane Kiffin. Kiffin was on the Pat McAfee show yesterday, and he talked about money not being a factor, but it might be for his agent.
I've never made a decision based off of money, nor will I. And
Love that.
For a lot of people, they're just like, well, money and it does this and does that. I've seen too many examples in life where money does not buy happiness. So I am never going to make a decision off of money, nor do I care about it. And
it's good to have
Jimmy Sexton gets really mad when I say that.
He's got enough.
We got to get this. We got to get this. And I'm like, Jimmy, I don't care. And he goes, I do.
That's some great stuff from Lane. I don't want to be too Pollyanna-ish about this, Pete, but his extended family has moved back there. His son is playing really well for the local high school football team. He had a game-winning touchdown a couple of weeks ago. I understand money's money, but he's 50 now, and he seems like he's in a different place in life. That said, if we were in the fast lane, looking at a place for Lane, what are we thinking about in terms of what's out there and the buzz you're seeing?
Yeah, Zubin, there's no question that Lane Kiffin is the buzz, and he is on the lips of the power brokers at both Florida and LSU. And look, what Ole Miss has helped him build there has been incredible. And I think if you look back at what the piece Ryan McGee did for E60 on Lane Kiffin, we'll either look at that as a love letter if he stays or a thank you letter if he leaves. Right now, it's hard to imagine Lane Kiffin coaching at Ole Miss next year. The opportunity that looms at either LSU or Florida is too big. The variable here, Zubin, that's going to be fascinating and is going to loom over the last 2 months of this season is how the dynamics would work if Ole Miss indeed does make the playoff, which they are on target to do right now if they keep winning as they have. Regular season ends November 29th. They could play in the SEC champ game a week later, and the college football playoff does not start until December